Ground Control to Major Tom. What's going on, gang? I'm Viper.
I'm Rumpo.
We are Fireteam Hooligan of BattleChatterOnline.com. Welcome to this, another edition of the Prima Games Tactical Tune-Up. This time, with the release of the in-game expansion for Battlefield 3, players will now get to experience 2 additional game modes. One is a fan favorite. It is Air Superiority, and a new game mode to the franchise, Capture the Flag. In this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about Air Superiority. And for you players who have trouble ranking up your fast mover, well, here's your chance to shine. Rumpo, why don't you tell us why this is going to be such a big help for all of us would-be jet pilots out there?
Well, I'll admit that when I first heard about Air Superiority, I was a little concerned that it was going to be a lot of pilot tryhards, that you were going to see a lot of high-level folks in jets dominating the battlefield. But DICE has done a really great job of balancing this out, not only for your skilled pilots, but also for those that almost feel as if they can't get into jets. And we know people like this, but there's guys that don't like to fly in, say, a game of Conquest to Caspian border because they don't want to waste a jet and they're not confident in their skills. And that's where this game mode sort of evens the playing field, because it's not about kills. Kills are good, but more than anything, there's 3 objectives, and I'm talking PS3 right now. There's 3 objectives that you can capture when you're playing Air Superiority. So essentially, you've turned it into a jet version of Conquest, and you can get 450 points in probably 5 to 7 seconds simply by capturing an objective in the air. So if you think about that, 450 points, there's a lot of people out there who, if they were to fly a jet on, say, Conquest, like I said, Caspian border, Karg Island, something like that, they would have a hard time getting 450 points in one game, let alone in 7 seconds. Personally, I was able to get my jet service star again last night, and I've sort of done the math and figured that if I keep playing consistently as I have been, every 5 to 6 games you could almost get a jet service star playing this game mode. So there's definitely something for everyone, especially people who might be starting out with Battlefield and don't want to go through the hassle of unlocking all the different options for the jet. This is a really good way to get the unlocks, it's a really good way to get the service star, and it's a really good way to practice flying.
You know, I mentioned it was a fan favorite, and it is a fan favorite, and the reason it's a fan favorite is for the very reason that you're pointing out right now. I think it's a really easy way for you to rank up your jet, and I think I am a perfect example of one of those guys. I rarely ever get into a jet, and you know this, I don't even have my first service star in a jet, but now I did get to play this one time last night, and I gotta say, not only is it exciting because, like you said, you don't have to really focus on shooting down other jets or anything like that. You just kind of focus on getting your jet to the objective. You circle around, you take the objective, and you move on to the next one. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to be shot down or you're not going to have the opportunity to engage the enemy who are also in a jet, which, by the way, I thought that was fascinating. As soon as you launch into the game, typically, you know, you have like the few vehicles that are at your disposal, but I just love how there are like 17 jets lined up across the board when you start the game. But this is a really great way. I'm a perfect example, like I said, of somebody who doesn't spend a lot of time in a jet, but within 5 or 10 minutes, I felt like I was really accomplishing something because my rank was moving up relatively quickly to be in a jet.
And here's a couple other points, and you've kind of jostled them in my mind, if you will, but you can't eject from the jet, and that's a common problem when you're playing in regular maps, is you lock onto somebody with your heat seekers, and as you shoot them, you disable the jet, and they simply parachute to safety, so you don't get that kill. You get the vehicle disabled, maybe the destroy, but you don't get the kill. In this way, you can't eject, so if you disable somebody and they crash, you get that kill, no matter what. The other thing that's really good is we all know what it's like. There's only 2 jets per side on most maps, as far as I know, unless I'm incorrect, but I don't believe I am. And when you're playing on Conquest with only 2 jets per side, if you get somebody who is really good in a jet, they pretty much dominate. Every time you take off, they're right behind you. You can't shake them. They're able to turn faster than you, and you lose those dogfights over and over, and it deters you from getting back in the jet. But here, with 12 versus 12 in the jet, you don't have one person constantly outmatching you. There's equal number of people in there at your skill level. So although there might be a couple dominant players and they're going to finish very high scores, you're going to be able to fight people who are on your skill level, and it brings the frustration down. I think it's going to cause a lot more people to use jets across the entire game. I really think this is a genius game mode and really, really well done. I honestly have not found any flaws or anything that I don't like with it.
And there you have it, Air Superiority. You kids, get out there. I feel the need. I feel the need for speed. Don't forget to pick up the official Prima Games Battlefield 3 strategy guide or visit primagames.com, where you can, of course, purchase the official Prima Games Battlefield 3 e-guide to instantly have tons of tactical tidbits at your fingertips. Prima Games, strategy where, when, and how you want it, even in the wild blue yonder. For Prima Games and everybody at Battle Chatter Online, I'm Viper.
I'm Rumpo.
We are Fireteam Hooligan from BattleChatterOnline.com. As usual, doom on you, Mr. Tango.